Hey there, folks. So this is Damn It Don again. Sorry it's been a while since I've recorded. I just wanted to let y'all know that I am, in fact, still very much alive. Ran into some family issues where my grandfather got ill and eventually passed away in the middle of March, and just recovering from dealing with all that kind of stuff. As it goes, sometimes in life you just gotta take breaks for yourself. Anyways, now that we're back rolling, I just wanted to say that, like I promised with the Marionette series, we're going to go ahead and fill in a couple of character sheets with the Marionette, and I'll show you how I would do it when dealing with Roll20. First thing we're going to do is just create a Roll20 game, and we'll go ahead and launch that. Now this should be relatively empty. I don't think there's anything in this game yet. I just made it. Yeah, I haven't even set it. So, you get a little bit of a bonus instruction here. One thing that I'm not a big fan of with Roll20 is the audio and video processing. So the first thing I always do is click none and none here. And then down here where it says audio input source, make sure those are clear. Go to video display and go names only, and you'll see down in the corner now that there's no longer a name. And then we can go over here, and you want to click on the journal and add a character sheet. Now I by default always select the Roll20 5th edition character sheet with the character master, and we're going to go ahead and call this one companion doll up here, and we're only going to let it be in our journals and no one else's. And go ahead and hit save changes. Now it's going to ask you to use the character manager. Now, even if you don't have any of the compendiums for Roll20, go ahead and use the character manager. And when it gets to race, this is where we're going to get a little interesting. You want to customize your origin. No, that's for Tasha's. What we're going to do here is we're going to scroll to the very bottom and hit custom. And then we'll say Marionette Companion. Companion doll. Alright, now I already have the Marionette open up here, but we know that if we scroll through the Marionette, there's a bunch of extra stuff in here, but the number one thing we want to check is the Constitution score increases by 1. So go back over here, and you increase the con by 1. Alignment doesn't matter. Size we'll use small. Speed we can click or just hit 25 real quick. Alright, so then go back over here and we see that it is a construct. We can't fill that in quite yet. What we want to look for is any additional skill proficiencies. Now, the companion doll does have some skill proficiencies, but we'll add those in a second. What we're going to do is we're going to go custom race features. This is a good place to start for any Marionette race. We'll go here, dig through, find it, construct. So this is you just copy that. What I do is I just paste the whole thing in here and then cut that and then paste it up here and then add another feature. And then we'll go back over here and go false appearance, copy, and we'll go down here again and put it in the bulk, and we'll just cut the title right off the front and paste that in there and add another one. And what do we have next? Dark vision. Okay. Now this is where it's going to get a little bit different for each one. So every single Marionette gets a form of dark vision. And yeah, in our podcast we'll talk about dark vision and how different DMs might want to manage their dark vision expectations for their players. Now sometimes, because the spacing is a little strange in that Roll20, you're going to want to go through here and get rid of some of the extra spaces. Okay, then we'll go ahead and add another feature. here is where it'll be kind of interesting. For the companion doll itself, it has a different natural armor than the other ones. So what you do here is you copy or cut that, paste it, and again we're running into that issue where the spacing is funny. Now this has to do with the way that HTML is formatting the text we copied. If this bothers you and you don't want to fight with it, one thing you can do instead is open up your notepad and paste the Marionette text directly into your notepad and then copy and paste it over. That'll save you from having to fight with the extra spaces. That's something I learned from the way just Roll20 formats things. Okay, and then it is a good idea, because this is a custom species, to copy any of the advanced things like this essence hardening. That way, that when on the character sheet, the player doesn't have to look at this later on. So we'll just copy every single one of these. But yeah, the main reason why we have to fight with this spacing, like I said, is that it's formatted a certain way in the PDF, and it makes the HTML really angry. Nope. Okay. So that looks like that's how that's going to sit. And you scroll down here, go to the next thing, armor bonding, which is an important one. That's something that needs to be known. Oops. And that's what I get for talking too much while I'm trying to do this. Now, this, even though I'm showing it for just the Marionette, any custom race or anything that you come up with in D&D as a DM that you want to set up for your players, you can do the exact same process that we're doing right here. Okay, it looks like that's where the other weird space is. Okay, and you know, Marionette has quite a few extra little tiny things. And I'll probably come back in and explain how I'm planning on doing the healing, because we had a really good discussion on Reddit with the Marionette species and whether or not it should be able to heal. And I think by default there's a hard mode kind of healing system that we're working on, where marionettes don't heal like organic creatures. However, it does kind of add a fun challenge. But that's still under playtesting, and so when that comes out, I'll update this video and show you how to handle that. Alright, so looks like we have all of those. Then we can go back here and take a look. Okay, subspecies, languages. I believe a proficiency in here is a language, so we can do common and add another proficiency. Now this is really useful because when it comes here for the companion doll, they get the friends cantrip, and they also get proficiency with insight and persuasion. So we'll head back over here and we'll go, okay, well, we need a, let's see, trying to find it. Sorry, brain blanked for a moment. Skill, we'll go ahead and add insight, and we'll go ahead and add, where are you? Persuasion. I think those are all the proficiencies, and the last thing that we need to add is over here in spells. Oof, race. Okay, kept those. Charisma, keep the alignment, size, proficiencies. Spellcasting ability, innate spells. Now, we're just going to pick one cantrip, and we're going to use charisma because it is the companion doll. And we'll just go ahead and use the bard spell list, because the bard spell list has the ability to add what we want to add. I believe there should be a way to do this. or not. Let's look. There should be an innate spellcasting, but let's see. I'm gonna give it a shot and see what happens. Under spells, what we'll do is we'll automatically choose friends for them, so that when we copy this character sheet over, friends will just be selected. I'm not sure if there's going to be a better way to handle that. And then we should go back here and we should add 2 to this charisma. And I believe that is everything we need. Let me take a look here. Empathetic link. We should probably add these here. And the reason why we add these in here is for player reference. So while you may be perfectly aware of where some of these abilities are coming from, the player may not. So this reference will be like, hey, how did I get the friend's cantrip, for instance? And instead you can be like, well, you have the companion spirit. And that's why. Meanwhile, you can, okay, it looks like that's cleared. You can just say, hey, you know, with that empathetic link, that's how you got those 2 extra proficiency points, or skills of insight and persuasion. And so now, if you're choosing a bard, you don't have to worry about taking those, and you can take other skills in the process, or you can use those in various ways with other classes, because it opens up some of the other skill choices. So, and with that, what I would do is go next, like that, go back to start, go ahead and close this, and now the companion doll is done. Now what you do here is you go, should be able to copy that character sheet, remember. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and pause this for a moment and try to clone this, because I remember there's a way to clone these. I just, for the life of me, I'm totally drawing a blank. Maybe it's up here under edit. Duplicate. There it is. Alright. See, I kind of know what I'm doing. I mean, I've dumped a lot of hours in this, and I'm just a normal dude. I mean, I've spent a lot of time on this, but I'm no master by any means. So I'll go ahead and duplicate this, and we'll duplicate it again. And the reason why we're duplicating it 2 more times is now we can just open the copy here. We can go into the race. Actually, we can go in here real quick and go, we want this to be a stuffed guardian. And then we save that. And now, what we can do under the custom race is go, this is a stuffed guardian. And this is how we're going to do each subspecies. Now we know for a fact that just off the top of our heads, was it? No, it's the show puppet next, but we'll skip down to the stuffed guardian because I'm just doing this ad lib. Alright, so strength score is going to go up by 2. So we can leave that as a 0, and we can go up here and do that. Leave this as 0 so that alignment size is small. That's correct. Language common skills. Made to last, gets the mending cantrip, and is proficient in athletics only, but gets some other additional things that need to be accounted for. Now, by itself, Roll20 isn't going to care whether or not that this is small. At least it shouldn't. I don't think it calculates in on attack rolls whether or not a creature is small or large or medium when it comes to attack rolls. So I don't think you're going to have to worry about changing that much. What you should do, though, is you should go here and scroll down. Okay, we'll just leave. That is choose and choose. Now that'll be at blank. Then we can change this to athletics. Construct is fine, false appearance is fine. Companion doll, however, is not correct for this. So, just like we did with the others, and I know that this is probably going to get redundant, but I told y'all that I would get through here and show you all of the different pieces and doing this on your own. So I'm not going to skip a step because I want people to be able to follow along and go, oh, okay, yeah, that's how he did it. Now, Stuffed Guardians are pretty neat. They're one of my favorites. I also want to do a show puppet that's like an amoral Pinocchio, just to see how the party deals with somebody who is literally just an agent of chaos. But I'll give you guys an update on that and see how that goes for everybody. You know, how it goes. For all the folkses and that kind of jazz. Alright, essence hardening is the same, armor bonding is the same, flammable is the same. Now these last two are going to be different. And this is why I just cloned these, because there's no reason to redo every single thing that we just did. So scroll back down here, and go to made to last, because that's one of them, copy, and then just drop that right in this duder. I just did it bad. Because I am rambling while I'm trying to do this. But who cares, right? If I'm just blindly clicking around and not talking to y'all, you probably think I forgot about you. And, you know, all that jazz. But I haven't. I'm just trying to get this crap done, but I'm also trying to show y'all how I do things so that it's something that's pretty easy to follow along and deal with. Okay, and you're forcing me to continue to work on the Menagerie of Souls so I can get that out to y'all. Alright, so we're going to choose Strength as an innate spellcasting because it doesn't matter. And we'll choose Artificer because why not? Then we can go over here to spells, and we can go to mending, and then we can go back here to start, and race, and then we will double check. We have a custom race, Marionette Stuffed Guardian 2, strength 1, con, small size, language is common, skill athletics, construct, false appearance, dark vision, Stuffed Guardian, has heavy stitching, it's basically wearing heavy armor with an AC of 17. Essence hardening is the same for all of them. Armor bonding is the same for all of them. Flammable is the same for all of them. Made to last, broad build, strength artificer. We'll go through here, broad build, and that looks like that's where that cuts off. Alright, and then we can go ahead and go back to start here so that the player's totally ready to make their character. Then you just close it. And on this one, we go through here, and we go show puppet. Alright. Save changes. And with a little luck, we should be able to tear through this one pretty fast. We already know that the charisma is 0, and I believe the dex goes to 2, but I'll double check. Because I wrote the show puppet, and y'all didn't. So, show puppet personalities, yeah. Dex right here of 2. Okay. And then nimble step. Walking speed increases by 5 feet, so we need to make sure we increase that to a 30 to account for that nimble step. Alright, and then what else do we got here? Acrobatics and performance. So, we'll go acrobatics and performance. False appearance is fine. Companion doll is going to be different. Just like we did before. Kill that. We'll go over here to nimble steps. Copy it so that we have this. Now, while nimble steps doesn't seem like a big deal, that movement speed increase can make a big difference, especially with small creatures, because small creatures, especially in combat, can travel through medium-sized creature spaces with little to no problem. Okay, now your DM may rule that differently, but rules as written, small creatures can move through medium or larger creatures without any major issue. Oh, that's wrong. Do y'all see what I did there? I totally skipped over the show puppets armor. And that's why we always double check this stuff, because that could have caused a lot of issues later when I was like, hey, what about that thing? And there is one thing I just realized I need to adjust for, and I'll show you how to do that because it's going to be the most complicated part of dealing with a show puppet. And that is, or not just show puppet, but any of these really, and that is going to be the armor class calculations. And Roll20 gets a little peevish about that, I would say. So we'll see what we can do to adjust that. I may have to make a duplicate of this and show you how to adjust it after the players make their characters, because I don't know if Character Mancer is going to let me alter the settings while it's inside its little system of, you know, how it creates the characters. It's like an HTML5 or HTML5 modal that they use, and it kind of obfuscates some of the stuff that they do so that, you know, you can't monkey around with what they did, which makes sense. I mean, it's their stuff. But you can open up the settings after the character's been created, and we'll go ahead and do that because, like I said, I want you to be able to put this into your game with as the minimal amount of effort necessary to make it functional. Alright, and then, oops, we'll get that. I'm on the meter, so I'm not going to go through and open a notepad and fight with it. Okay, so then spellcasting. I do not think. Uh-oh. I just lost the internet. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and hit start. And go back to race and make sure everything got saved. This is a good example of why you gotta make sure that this stuff stays. Okay, so the speed did not stay. Dexterity did. What else did we lose? Okay, we got the show puffet. Just show puffet. Essence hardening, armor bonding, nimble steps, natural performer. Okay, so there is no spell casting ability for the show puppet because they just get the bonus to speed, which is fine. I thought about giving every species in the marionette subspecies the ability to use mending, but it's really not that necessary. And with the optional rules that we're working on, all mending does for a show puppet or any marionette, so to speak, is allows them to, it's like casting Spare the Dying, so it wouldn't really help them to cast it on themselves aside from aesthetics. Alright, so with that we can go back to start, and I'm going to check review and see if it'll allow me to, yep, see, it's just going to tell you to do all those things. So we'll go to start, and then we'll go ahead and close that. And then I'll open one of these, and I'll go into edit, and I'm going to make a duplicate real quick. And this will be a copy of Mr. Show Puppet. So we'll just say for giggles that they decide to make a show puppet. They want the class to be, we'll do something quick, like show puppet rogue, who gets deception, stealth, sleight of hand, and perception. We'll just make them all kinds of nutty. Expertise, we will go with performance and deception. He'll be just a slippery cat. Go into abilities, ability score method. We'll do standard array because I don't really care. 15. We want intelligence. No, we want a charisma to 14. Intelligence, wisdom, constitution. He won't be super strong, but he'll be slippery. That'll work. Oh, and I forgot. Oh no, not yet. That's good. Choose a background. Do they have a circus performer? Some duder? Let's see. How about a charlatan? Scam. Street corner con artist. Flattery. That sounds like a fun one. I lie all the time. Free spirit. Fleece the wrong person. Yeah, there we go. Just a real charmer. We'll just do class equipment. We'll make him a rapier and a short bow. And he will have a burglar's pack. Set of weighted dice, because it's funny. Alright, so now that we've created it, character name, age, we'll do 12, height, 15, weight, 15, eyes, Y, hair, B, skin, W for wood. Alright, review. You haven't chosen your alignment. I don't care. Let's build this character real quick. Alright, so you have a player who's made the character and they're everything's set up and ready to roll, except it's not quite. The first thing you need to do is fix the armor class. So what you do is you go in here and you hunt down armor class tracking and go to custom AC. And now we go back over here to the marionette. We're using a show puppet, so we know that the show puppet's AC is going to be 12 plus the dexterity modifier. So custom AC will be 12 plus dex. Allow shields. And then you should be able to click the gear, go back to core. Now the AC is 14, but if you click on here, you can see that the AC is now 12 plus the dex modifier. And you can actually go into core and see that, ooh, it's not working properly. Is it? Did you see that? This should be 15. Now what we can do is we can close this, and we can open it again, and make sure the character sheet is, yeah. Okay, and then we can go in here. Okay, there we go. And now it is ready. And that's how you create all 3 different marionette types. I hope that was helpful. And if you like what we're doing and are interested in playing a marionette, or even want to set up and look at our West Marches game that's coming out for our legendary Patreon members, our new season should be coming up pretty soon. And yeah, I get it, it's 25 bucks a month, but that 25 bucks a month is for D&D sessions and for the whole month. And you have to take into account that that also includes access to a bunch of different custom content, and a lot of hours we're just dumping into this. Most pay-to-play games that you have out there, you know, between 5 to 10 bucks per session, and if you math it out, I mean, you're getting at least 5 sessions in over the course of a month. So I mean, it's on the lower end of the spectrum. Not to mention, since it's Patreon, within a month, if it's not for you, you can bow out. No hard feelings. Everybody wins. Anywho, this is Damn It Don, and I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I'll go ahead and throw a link of the Discord so you can review the West Marches game and all the other stuff we're working on for free. It's totally open to the public. I mean, we have some stuff that's locked away for the West Marches game and custom early access things that you get if you sign up for the Patreon. So, yeah, take a look. See what you think. Let us know. All right. Later, folks. I hope you enjoyed this one. Peace.